Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna give my thoughts about the Wimbledon draw 2021. Guys and ladies, it's on, this year's third Grand Slam, and we have the most prestigious tournament of all in the world. We have the Wimbledon, who in my opinion is the biggest slam, the most prestigious, the most valuable slam. Every slam counts, of course. I don't want to take anything away from the other, but the Wimbledon status is just like the Monte Carlo in Formula E. It's the biggest tournament, and it's on grass, one of the few surfaces around the world that doesn't have consistent players, because on clay, on hard court, indoors, most of the players on the ATP tour, the top 100, the top 200 ranked players, are more or less consistent. But on grass, we can name a bunch of dudes that are super consistent on grass. We have the usual guys like Novak and Federer. We have some other old foxes in the game like Cilic. We have Sam Querrey and Isner, and RBA maybe has reached the semi-final, and a bunch of other dudes. Not many, but a couple of more of the guys that has played solid. We have Tsonga, but he's almost done, finished in top level competition. So the grass court is really a low bounce here. You have to take the ball beneath your striking zone. You have smaller margins, and that generates more upsets, of course, more floaters in this tournament. And it's difficult to protect the baseline if your name is not Federer, Djokovic, or Nadal. And on the grass court surface, you have to use all your weapons to perfection. You have to use the slice if you can. You will see Novak use that slice as often as possible, but he prefers his double-handed backhand down the line, or his cross-court forehand, or his cross-court backhand, to cause damage for his opponent. But let's be honest, look at the field. Nadal has withdrawn. He would be one of the threats in this tournament, one of the title contenders, one of the big giants. But since he's not here, he has withdrawn. This makes the job easier for the best grass court players in this world, and that's Federer and Novak Djokovic. Still, Federer has a lot more to prove. And I don't know, this is the first time, I said it in my preview at the 2019 Wimbledon, that this Grand Slam is the most difficult Grand Slam to predict if you take out the winner and the two finalists, because behind them everybody can reach the quarter or the semis, guys. It's so full packed of inconsistent players that are almost equal at the surface, because none of them have showed super great tennis style. Tennis, they haven't been rewarded as much as the other guys. And when I saw the draw, I was thinking, who should I pick? Should I just pick the first eight players that comes to my mind? Should I look at the draw, maybe pick some other dudes, mix up this draw for once in a while? I don't know. I came to my conclusion, I will probably be dead wrong in many of my predictions, but I will start anyway, and I will go into my 8 top list, the 8 players that I think will reach the quarter the second week, because the second week we're gonna see some floaters, we're gonna see some upsets, we're gonna see players that we are not used to see. But you have the serve, you can control your serve. If you can control your serve on the surface, you will win many free points. But when the ball is in play, you should be the guy that with not only the most patient. You have to strike when you have your chance. You have to be creative. You have to have stamina. You have to move quick on your feet. You have to be prepared from tip to toe. So you will just have to. Sometimes you are gonna be very lucky also if you can break your opponent's serve, because that will give you a great advantage. All right, 2021, we have the top field players in two sections here, the bottom half of the row and the top half of the draw, of course. Novak is seeded as number one at the top half of the draw. Medvedev is the second seed here in the bottom half of the draw. So I'm just gonna go into my top 8 list. My first candidate is a player I have never spoke well about. I have never hyped him. I have never seen his greatness. I am not so sure if this guy reaches the quarterfinal. I will be very surprised if he takes this 8th spot. But this is a very long shot. It's like aiming with your eyes closed. I will pick Felix Aliassime. Felix Auger-Aliassime as my number 8 spot, because Felix has a great draw. He meets Montero in the first round. He can probably face Tsonga or the Swedish guy Michael Ymer in the second round. And in the third round, he has his first test. It's gonna either be Hugo Humbert, who's a great grass court player. He won a title at Halle. He's still alive in this competition, I think. This lefty from France who is a decent player on grass. He lost to Djokovic in 2019. He played great. He's a swordsman. He has great technique on the tennis field. I really like his style when he plays. He's a prime prospect of the future if he can get past his first round, because who does he play against in his first round? Hugo Humbert. He plays one of the most inconsistent, one of the most unpredictable tennis players of all time, and that's Nick Kyrgios. If Nick Kyrgios wants to play tennis, if Nick Kyrgios has been training well, if Nick Kyrgios have woken up on the right side, if Nick Kyrgios is finally thinking that I will play tennis out of this world, he will for sure take out Humbert. It's not much different. Nick always has his serve. If his serve is not cracking, he will reach deep. And I will not be surprised if Hugo Humbert loses to Kyrgios. All right. I will not be surprised if Hugo Humbert or Kyrgios reaches the quarterfinal. And definitely not surprised if the guy that I think Aliassime will meet in the 4th round is one of the top seeds here. It's Alexander Shashazverev. He has a decent draw until he meets Aliassime, because Aliassime has been playing great. He has a great serve that he can be rewarded. It really benefits his game on this fast serve, but he is a mental dwarf in these occasions. A mental dwarf who has lost 8 ATP finals in 8 attempts. He has never taken a set. He has played 0-16 in sets in all of these 8 finals. And then you're gonna wonder, why do you, Suat Kaya, think that he will reach? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. When I predict these kind of upsets or long shots, I always go with my gut feeling. But if Zverev plays in the quarter instead, or Humbert or Kyrgios, I would definitely not be surprised. But it's like that in tennis. You have to pick your candidates. All right, my number 7 spot. Who do I have there? I have a guy that I think will meet Francis Tiafoe in the first round, Pospisil in the second round, maybe Kachanov or Korda, or perhaps de Minaur in the 3rd round. Maybe I think he will play against de Minaur in the 4th round. Maybe Feliciano Lopez also. Maybe Daniel Evans. And this guy is the fantastic Greek Stefanos Tsitsipas, a guy that I have high hopes, but not on grass. But due to the draw, he has a tricky draw. I will not be surprised if he crashes out to Pospisil. I will not be surprised if he crashes out to Diminar or Korda. I will not be surprised if he crashes out against Evans or Lopez. But Tsitsipas is a quality player. He has the tools. He has the game. He has the mindset. He has the will to win. He is a champion to be. Champion in the making. He has shown when he won the ATP finals that I didn't doubt him, and he really showed why he is such a great talented. But there's a but here also. On grass, he doesn't get so much time. He doesn't get the necessary time because he has huge cuts, both from his forehand and backhand swings. So he has to be more taking the ball much earlier in this tournament. That's why he has not reached deep in this tournament. Minus for his returns and his spot serving. He has an okay serve, but let's face it, guys. Who does his game style reminds of? Federer. Federer plays first strike tennis. The Greek did that also in French Open when he reached the final, when he almost won. And you should have high hopes for this guy because his game style, if you see beyond his huge cuts and his bad returns, his game is really suited for grass also and hard court. But that's a step that Tsitsipas needs to work much more on. He needs to develop his game much better on grass. He needs to play more his tennis much quicker and try to execute the points earlier. All right, on my number 6 spot, I was really out of touch here when I was thinking, who do I think? But this guy has a great draw. Not a super great draw, but a great draw, decent draw. He has a tricky play in the first round, but he's not a grass court player. Maybe he has a great serve, and that's Delbonis. In the second round, this guy that has one of this tour's best forehand, I'm not gonna say his name yet, a guy that is an expert of winning 500s, ATP 500 tournaments. He has a potential upset alert that he can lose against in the second round, and that is Lloyd Harris from South Africa, who has a great serve, rock solid backhand, great forehand, great movement on court, but he doesn't have the game plan, and that's why I think he will pass him. Even if he can lose to him, it can be a tight match. In the third round, if this clown shows up, if this clown chooses to play tennis with dedication, because his game style is the most effortless tennis style I've seen. He plays so relaxed. His backhand is superb. His serving is great when it works. It's Fabio Fognini, of course, I'm talking about. The third round match for this guy will be against Fognini. And the other one, I see two guys that can either crash out or reach the fourth round and meet this guy I'm still haven't named yet. He could face maybe Schwartzman, but Schwartzman doesn't have the serve to get 3 points here. He has a great baseline that he can take advantage, but if his opponent moves him around the court, he will not reach the fourth round. Or maybe the hard-hitting young Italian Sinner, maybe it will be another guy. I haven't watched the draw in too much in that department where Sinner and Schwartzman plays. Okay, I'm gonna name my number 6 player that I think has a chance to reach one of the quarters, and that is Andrei Rublev. So Rublev on my number 6th place, Tsitsipas on my number 7th place, Felix Auger-Aliassime on my number 8th place. And now I'm going to jump into my 5th place. And that is a guy that has played great, most plays. He's Spanish. Most of the Spanish players are associated on great tennis, of great tennis producing on the clay court surface. But this guy is better. He's opposite. He's much better on hard court and grass. He has reached the semifinals here. 2019, he lost to Novak Djokovic. he is gonna play Millman in the first round. John Millman from Australia, a grinder that can take one set from him. Then I think he will reach the second round and play against Kecmanovic from Serbia. And in the third round, the Serb Opelka, he will advance for 3 rounds, but then RB will take his teeth into his serve. He will return his serve because RB is a great returner. He's an attacker with he's a defender with an attacker's game plan. And in the fourth round, I think he has his biggest test. It will either be Shapovalov, the tricky lefty from Canada, one of the 2 youngsters from Canada in this tournament, a guy that has not played so great lately, a guy that played great at the French Open last year. After that, he has fallen off the map. He has started to not fade away, but he has not been so super consistent. But we all know that Shapovalov is a player with a big heart. He likes to play flawless tennis all the time, and that's his biggest mistake. You can't play flawless tennis on time. You have to use your mind, construct the points, value your options, not hesitate. Shapovalov doesn't possess that, and therefore he can make up to between 50 and 17 unforced errors in a match, especially at Wimbledon. So I will not be surprised if he crashes out early. And then I think if Shapovalov can get through a tricky guy like Herbert, who is a great player, that's a guy who is a smart player. He uses exactly everything of every strength he has, he uses to his benefit. He's a great touch player. He has great hands. He has great serve. He has a great volley net game. So he will probably make their opponent itch their head, because he will not give them so much time, Herbert. So RB on my 5th place, and now we are coming into the semifinals. And the 4th guy, who is it? Is a hard serving guy with a monstrous forehand, who is one of the best player right now from shot 1 to 3. Serve, return, and the third shot, he smacks the ball down the line or makes a winner. But if this guy trade duels, if this guy is gonna have a physical battle on the baseline, you can take him out. You can play the ball against his backhand, but these guys backhand normally he's a slicer, and slicing is a great advantage here on grass courts. So this guy uses a lot of slice in his game when the ball is on his backhand. So that's why I think this guy will reach deep this time. He has played a great tournament here, but lost to Roger Federer in the 4th round. If you can remember, that was in 2019. The player I'm talking about is gonna meet Guido Pella in the 1st round. He's gonna play Barrere, I think, in the 2nd round. And then he has one of the guys that I think, if he is fit and fresh, but I will doubt that, he lives on his serve. He lives to play on this surface. He has played the longest game, the longest match in Wimbledon history here against Nicolas Mahut. That's John Isner. He played there for like 6 hours, or the match was played over 3 days due to rain delays and other things, mostly rain delays. So, and in the 4th round, that's another long shot for me, and that is Kei Nishikori. I think that he has a decent draw. If he plays great, has not played that terrible lately, I think that Kei can reach the 4th round. But Berrettini, with his huge forehand, with his huge serve, that he wins a lot of free points, because when his first is in, it's 9 out of 10. It's a point victory for him. Berrettini moves rock solid also. He is a great mover, has light feet. He stings like a bee and punishes the ball when he has the chance. He's floating around the court, but he likes to go around and instead of hitting that backhand. But I don't think that he will go around too much this time. He will slice. He doesn't want to go to conserve energy. I don't think he's gonna go around too much on his backhand and hit with the forehand. So therefore, I think he's the number 4th player on my list. And on my number 3rd list, it's a guy that can either lose in the first round, he can lose in the 3rd round, he can lose in the 4th round. But I believe with a little bit luck, this flat hitter with his unorthodox playstyle, I think that this guy will have the time of his life. He plays in a semi-final today in another tournament. I think that's in Eastbourne, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe was it Mallorca, I forgot. But his hopes are still here. He has shown before that he can play on grass. He has not won a grass court tournament, but he showed at the last week, if it was in Halle or Queens, that he can actually play great grass court tennis. But I think he lost to a guy he's going to meet in the first round, and that's a light version of Berrettini. This guy is a copy of Berrettini. Is the German Jon Lennard Struff. Great serve, great first and second serve, great forehand, okay backhand, who likes to slice. He likes to go around like Berrettini. They are almost as tall as each other, but Berrettini has more firepower and a little bit better quality when it comes to trade duels and playing baseline. So Struff, if he can hold this serve, Medvedev will have big trouble to get through the first round. If he does that, he has a little bit easier second round, I think. I think he will meet Paul or Alcaraz. I don't know. One of these dudes is going to win their first match. I actually don't care who wins that match, but one of them is going to meet either Medvedev, who I believe, or Struff. In the 3rd round, I have a guy that has been here in the final. He's from the warmer regions of Europe. He has been in 3 Grand Slam finals. He has won one of those. He has beaten Federer. He has beaten Nadal in Grand Slam. He has won one time against Novak Djokovic at Eastbourne 2019. Only win in, I think, in 16 or 17 attempts against Novak Djokovic. This guy has not played great tennis until the last 14 days for almost 2 years. This guy has been traveling like a vagabond around the ATP 250 tournaments. He has collected the paychecks. He has lost in first and second rounds, but he has never tanked a match. He has tried his best, and that's why I like this player. But this is also a long shot. But this guy has woken up. He won an ATP tournament recently, a 250 tournament. I forgot where it was. Was it at Stuttgart or some other event? But that guy is, of course, Marin Cilic. He can for sure reach the 3rd round, and if he meets Medvedev in the 3rd round, don't look at the head-to-head before. I don't actually know if they have met or what the head-to-head stats are. But if Cilic reaches the 3rd round here at Wimbledon, that means that he's not in terrible shape. All right, in the 4th round, 2 guys I saw on the draw. One of these 2 guys is going to reach the 4th round, sorry. That's Musetti, the young Italian, or Dimitrov, a guy. I say Dimitrov, and what do you say? You say inconsistency. You say unpredictable. But you can also say magical, wonderful to watch. Light version of Federer, baby Federer. You can say that also. All right. Medvedev on the 3rd spot. And number 2 spot, you know where I'm coming now. You know where I'm heading now. You know who I'm gonna pick now. You know that this is not only nostalgical reasons. This is great. This guy has a great draw, actually, better than expected. At least in the first week, because in the first week, like Novak's draw, if you have seen that, you have seen many of these top 8 players that many of these players that I talked about, if you look at the draw, many of them have great draws. And my the second spot is, I made a reservation for Roger Federer actually. But am I impressed of what I've seen these 20-time champion have done? No, I'm really not. Not super impressed, and I will probably eat up my words, but I think that Federer possesses so much quality that with the players he first meets in the first 2 rounds, Manarin, who actually plays the semi-final today in Eastbourne, or the other tournament that I've talked about, Mallorca, I forgot which one it was. Then he has Gasquet, maybe 2 French dudes that he should take care of. Then a tricky player, Cameron Norrie. I don't know. Cameron Norrie has won 28 matches this year. He's on the 3rd place in this 2021 year stats of winning matches. And in the 4th round, maybe Sam Querrey or PCB. But Roger Federer is going to have a very difficult. He was going to lose sets on his way to the 2nd week. But in the 3 first matches, I think it's a game of the cat chasing the mouse, because Federer has chance to take care of these dudes due to his consistency, due to his, maybe he's waking up here at Wimbledon. Maybe it's a wishful thinking. Maybe some of you don't realize, but guys, I think Federer has missed the Grand Slam train. The loss against Novak in 2019, I think that was his last chance of winning. And since his comeback hasn't impressed me, he has lost to Aliassime, a match that he shouldn't be ashamed of because low margins on grass. He has lost to Bashashvili, Andujar, maybe another guy, maybe a 4th match, I forgot which one. But anyway, guys, Federer, he withdrew against Berrettini at the French Open. Federer, I don't know, he's not in physical shape. He doesn't have ace in his pocket like the neo backhand. He's not in his physical prime. He is starting to serve not much. The only thing that keeps Federer from not being a top 10 player right now, top 20, is his serve. And that has started to crack a little bit. He doesn't serve as well as he has done before. He doesn't find those spots so much that he has done before. He doesn't, and you need that serve to win easy 3 points. So can you believe it's 20 years since he met Sampras in that appearance in 2001, when the king and the prince traded positions, even though it took Federer 2 more years to win his first Wimbledon in 2003. But Federer needs to save and convert his energy well on court. But the Federer I know, if he can just push his level 10-15% more, which is very much on this high level, I think that he will get to a final. Maybe. All right, guys. On my first spot, who do I have? No need to introduce this beast. Novak Djokovic. All-round player. He doesn't have any weaknesses. He has a fair draw also. He has a kind draw, no real threats until the 2nd weeks either. He has no flaws in his game. Maybe the overhead smash, but how often does a player use his overhead smash? He has a great court coverage. He shrinks the courts to his advantage. He is a mental beast. He is here to collect the third, to make it equal with Roger and Rafa. These 3 amigos Grand Slam race are still continuing with the Serbian in the front seat. I don't know. Federer's serve and game is not fluid, but if he, like I said, if he can reach, due to that Wimbledon is his living room, and the same goes for Novak. He has won this tournament 5 times, and Federer 8 times. Federer lost 3 finals against Novak Djokovic in 2014, 15, and 19. Djokovic have played great tennis here all through his career. He has many memorable matches here. The best was the 2019 final, of course. Federer beat him last time here at 2012. But Federer is not near of being that player anymore. So guys, what can I more say? Novak will really be, I will not, if he wins this, he really has his eyes on the prize. He's gonna hit the bull in his eyes. If he can, he really has a great shot at fulfill the calendar Grand Slam and he will be one of the favorites at Wimbledon. And if he can top that also with Olympic gold, also that he doesn't have in his trophy cabinet. And if he can go on and win the World Tour Finals and equal Federer's numbers there, because Novak has 60 big titles, my friends, 19 Grand Slams, 36 Masters, 5 World Tour Finals. That makes it 60 big titles. If you look at the biggest titles, the Grand Slams, the Masters, the World Tour Finals, he has 13. He has won those 13 biggest titles at least twice. Take that if you're a Novak Djokovic hater. I really can't figure out why many people just put hate on Novak. They put hate on Federer. They put hate on Nadal. Guys, appreciate these players. They play different plays. They are playing not similar. That's what makes them great. You have Djokovic, he is the most all-round player. He has the first serve, he has the second serve, he has the backhand, he has this little cross-court forehand. Don't underestimate that shot. That's what set up most of his points. And then he executes with his backhand. He has started to be a decent net player. He is a master of constructing points. He's a chess player on court. He doesn't give you the free point. Look at Tsitsipas. Look at Federer, the matches that passed before. When Novak faces a match, we really have to earn the victory. You can't rely on that he's gonna give the point. You have to take the meat out of the mouth from the lion. Novak is a lion, and that's why I think he will win the Wimbledon. Why? Look at the competition, guys. Seriously, look at the competition. If I put an almost 40 years old Federer in the final, that means Novak has no real threats in this tournament. Who is going to upset him? Scott Draper in the first round, Kevin Anderson in the second round, Seppi or some other loser in the third round, maybe Travaglia in the fourth round, Garin, who's a clay court specialist. Who is going to upset Novak Djokovic? None! And now to my upsets, I'm tired of talking about this player all the time. I love Novak Djokovic. I love the dedication, the will to win, the sportsmanship that he has. Some of you will not all the time. You have seen in Australian Open when he took these medical breaks. I'm not talking about that. He's an ambassador for tennis overall. He smashes his racket, yes. He curses, yes. But he can't control those emotions. That's what makes him the great champion. We have upsets, alerts, warnings in the tournament, dark horses. You can call them whatever you want, but none of these guys are going to win the tournament. From the bottom half of a draw, I have Zverev, I have Cilic, I have Struff, I have Humbert, I have Fritz. On the top half of the draw, I have Lloyd Harris, I have Shapovalov. Why do I have so many? Because this tournament, like I talked before, is a difficult tournament to predict. That's why I have so many upsets, alerts. Maybe PCB also, if he can take out Federer in the fourth round, maybe he can reach the quarter and then he'll probably meet Medvedev. Aliassime Berrettini, it will be a great match. I think that Berrettini will win that match. Tsitsipas against RBA, I think that that will be a great quarterfinal too. Djokovic Rublev, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This tournament is gonna be the tournament that set the standard for many of the grass court players for the future, because we have many young players here. They are here to learn. They know that the big cats here are Federer and Djokovic. With all due respect, I don't think that Roger, if he reaches the final, I will be hugely shocked. But I said, it's something in my gut feeling that believes in him. If I will be right, I will be right. If I'm not, I will take it. Maybe it's his last chance, I think, to win a Grand Slam if he's not retiring. But we will see, folks. I really looking forward to this tournament. I'm really looking forward to it. We have my top 8 list. On 8th spot, Aliassime. 7, number 7, Tsitsipas. Number 6, Rublev. Number 5, RBA. Number 4, Berrettini. Number 3, Medvedev. Number 2, Roger Federer. And the champion will be Novak Djokovic from Serbia, collecting his 20th Grand Slam and equaling the Grand Slam tally with the 3 amigos will stand at 20 Grand Slam each after in about 16 days, I think. And may the best man win. I really hope to see Federer go deep in the tournament. I'm very curious about a couple of players. I'm curious about Humbert Kyrgios match. That's a little mini blockbuster in the first round. I'm seriously looking forward to that match. I'm gonna watch that match, and maybe Novak will win, maybe not. But this is my prediction draw. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye bye. And I just want to send some greetings to my dear friend Inter Intieri, a guy that I really love from my heart. Yesterday we talked for almost 2 hours. We talked more than 2 hours on phone. We were going through who is gonna be in this tournament quarterfinals. We talked a little bit, but we were so confused. We haven't yet. We believe that many of these players are gonna have a difficult time. But anyway, shout out to Inter Intieri and everybody else who are watching my videos. Take care and bye bye.